what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And the Bears have landed the #1 overall pick for the second consecutive year in a row. At least this time it's not on our own merit for us being the worst team in football. Yes! That's courtesy of the Carolina Panthers. Yeah! Who we made the trade for DJ Moore and those picks. I will leave it on the screen. But at the end of the day, it is a good thing that the Bears aren't the worst team in football. We've much improved, and we still get the #1 overall pick. Yeah! Shout out to the Carolina Panthers for being so bad for us. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I wanted this to be a separate video from me reacting to the Bears' win over the Falcons. And at the end of the day, it is a separate conversation. It is a deeper conversation, and it deserves a conversation of its own because there's so much to unpack and there's so much to go into, and we have a lot of time to talk about what the Bears could possibly do with that #1 overall pick. Now, at the end of the day, we still have one more football game left to kind of tell us what could happen, what should happen in the offseason. Overall, I think the decision should be made on what the Bears could possibly do with that #1 overall pick. And to me, and this is my own personal opinion, you guys can feel free in the comment section to kind of differentiate or debate it. But my thing is, you have two decisions for the Bears at this #1 overall pick. One, you can stay there and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Ohio State University, because when you see what the Bears are, yes, it is a very ascending offense, a very ascending football team, even though I still believe they need to fire Luke Gatsby. Yeah! Fire! But at the end of the day, this offense is getting better and better as far as the personnel, as far as the pieces, the players, whether it's Darnell, whether it's Tevin Jenkins, whether it's Khalil, Herbert. We already know what DJ Moore is, and of course, we know what Justin Fields has the potential to be. We know what he is. We know what he's growing to be, and he's been playing better and better. And what more can you do? And not to mention, we have Kmet, who is an ascending tight end as well. So we have pieces that I personally believe that the Bears need to build upon. And as much as we like Darnell Mooney, it's just starting to see that he might not be a fit anymore here in Chicago, or he's not a #2 receiver, which I personally believe that aspect of it. You need to draft a surefire #2 to pair along with a guy like a DJ Moore, and that is Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Ohio State University. Because when you think about it, I'm going to take this to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have guys like Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, who he had last year when they won the Super Bowl, who's a very quality receiver to pair with the weapons in Kelsey. And we see Kelsey is starting to be not the same player. It could be injuries, it could be whatever. But at the end of the day, you see Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the most talented quarterbacks that we've ever seen. But he cannot do it all on his own. Every quarterback needs pieces around him. And here is why I say every quarterback needs pieces. Think about the greatest quarterbacks that we have in the NFL history. Think about it. Patrick Mahomes, he had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey for the majority of his years. We think about Dan Marino. He's probably the anomaly of this when he still had Duper, he still had Clayton, he still had Eberflus, who was a very good piece for him. You think about John Elway, who had Uncle Shay, Shannon Sharp. He had a running game when he won those Super Bowls with Terrell Davis. Rod Smith, very quality receiver. Ed McCaffrey. You think about Steve Young and Joe Montana. They had the greatest wide receiver to ever play football, Jerry Rice. So at the end of the day, and you think of Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. In Denver, Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace. You have Wes Welker. So at the end of the day, well, I don't care what greater quarterback. Tom Brady, you got to say. Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola was successful. Gronk, he had Randy Moss. So at the end of the day, and even in Tampa Bay, he had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. So at the end of the day, each quarterback is going to need more than one weapon successfully. Now, we know Kmet and we know DJ Moore have been the main targets for the Chicago Bears. But you have to surround it with more so defenses have more to defend than just mainly those targets. When those weapons are successful and then those weapons are getting put in the right positions to succeed, you're going to have a very much improved offense if you get a guy like a Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State, who at this point is one of the more talented wide receivers that we had come out of college in quite some time. And at the end of the day, he's going to help make your football team better right now. And this Bears team is ascending. So why even think of getting rid of Fields to draft Caleb Williams, who I personally don't think is it at that wide receiver position, quarterback position. Drake May, who I think is honestly Mitchell Trubisky 2.0. So we need to stick with Fields, get him more. Get him a wide receiver and Marvin Harrison Jr. If you stay at number one, you could possibly do that. Or trade back just like we did last year and get a haul for a team that's quarterback needy. We could say a team maybe like the Raiders. We could say a team possibly like the Giants or whatever they tend to do with Daniel Jones. We could say a team like the Falcons, who we just beat, who we clearly see needs quarterback help. So there are teams. New England is a team that can also be on alert that can move up. So there are different teams that can move up to that number one spot, and the Bears can trade back. So I personally, you don't get rid of Justin Fields. Don't do it. He's a quarterback that is ascending, and you see he needs more weapons. And it's crazy, the fans now chanting, we want Fields. I agree with that. I stand with that. We want Fields. So I think it's two options. You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. if you decide to stay there, and you already have your own pick, which I think you should use that either on another edge rusher or on your offensive line to help boost that. So the Bears are playing with house money at this point. They got 2 first-round picks, and looks like they could possibly be 2 top 10 picks, and you have the number 1 overall pick. You can trade back again. The Bears are playing with house money, but one thing you don't do, you don't get rid of Justin Fields, because that's only going to set your rebuild back yet again. And at the end of the day, you're trying to build something with your football team. You're trying to build some continuity with your football team. I'm at Eberflus. I really like what he's done with this defense. I really like what he's done with this football team in this 2023-2024 season, and I'm glad the Bears are keeping him. And so you keep that intact, you keep Justin Fields, and you continue to build on this football team by 1 or 2 options. Marvin Harrison Jr., if you decide to stay at number 1, or I think the most likely scenario is the Bears trade back, and they can still get Marvin Harrison Jr. depending on what position that they get, and then they can use their own pick to boost up the offensive line or boost up the defensive line along with Montez Sweat. So the Bears are playing, like I said, with house money with this. And at the end of the day, one thing you just don't do, you do not get rid of Justin Fields, because we've seen he can be electric. We've seen he can make those throws. I just believe you build around him, you get more for this football team for 2024-2025 season, and we can continue to ascend, kind of like what the Lions have been doing, where the Lions were bad in 2021, 2022. You've seen where the moment where they started to click as a football team, and this is kind of comparison to the Bears, where we had the worst record of 2022. 2023 is where we're starting to ascend as a football team, and I believe make some different moves in 2024, get some right pieces around it. We can have that similar trajectory if we don't do anything stupid like getting rid of Justin Fields. But those are just my thoughts on the Bears having the number 1 overall pick. Leave you guys your thoughts in the comments, and I know this is going to be a very long-awaited conversation, a long-winded conversation, because it's going to continue throughout this offseason. And also click the sub button, notification bell, so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But I am signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Happy New Year, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.